What you are about to witness will contain violence, disturbing imagery, adult themes, and may leave you doubting who you thought you were. Proceed at your own risk.
Right.
Easy. Easy. It's fine. It's all right, Titus. I'm here. It's me.
It doesn't sound like you.
Oh. It is. Relax.
What are you doing today?
We're here together. Remember walking? Fair. Do you remember those days? When we would walk like that? They're there.
And you're sure this will help them?
It will help me. It'll help us. Now we're ready. Hold my hand. It's hard to maintain. Hold my hand. Just reach. I'm having trouble. We're at the fair. You and I. I have what I need.
I have what I need.
We have what we need. We have what we need.
What do you mean to the line?
Easy, my love. It'll be okay. Someone.
Woundward. What does that mean?
That's what she said. I don't think I've heard of it.
Where do we begin to find this place, I wonder?
I guess we could start by looking on the map. Anyone pack a map?
No. I didn't pack anything.
Okay, Jude, you have to have a map.
Yes, I have a map.
Okay. I guess we can take a look, although, I mean, you've scoured that map thousands of times. It's not like you'd have passed it by, right?
Yeah, never heard.
Narrator, I am an avid historian. Would I have heard of a place called Woundward?
Ooh. I will allow you to roll for it. I doubt it.
Okay. 94. So no.
Yeah. Unfortunately not.
I mean, maybe it's not, a place called Woundwood. Maybe it's there's a wound and we're going towards it. But then what would that even mean? What is the wound?
Or who was wounded?
Yes, I wouldn't.
Did you hear that?
What?
I thought that was you whispering,
Me?
but it didn't sound like you.
No. No.
I
You heard whispering?
thought I heard it too. But I could not make out what it was.
It's
Okay.
strange, all of these things that the both of you can see and hear and touch.
Yeah, that's pretty unusual. I'm not entirely convinced in the whole test theory. It just makes no sense, but I'm a little bit concerned. Because if it's not a test and a weird, strange lady is telling us to go Woundward, what if it's a trap?
What if it's a trap? I mean, you're right, what if it's a trap, but still, at the same time, if someone wanted to have us, surely there's a better way, or they would have been here by now,
What do we know?
What do we know? We know that Lear is to be king. And we know that presumably many people are trying to not allow that to happen.
See, I've been thinking a lot about that, and I think if Leah is to be king, and the previous king was assassinated for problems that we didn't cause and we can't fix those problems, is it really a good idea to bring Leah right in front of them and say, here's your new king, have fun? I feel like that is not protecting him. Serving him up on a platter and hoping that nothing bad happens.
Well, I suppose it comes down to what you perceive that is. If it's serving him up on a platter, obviously not. If it's placing him in the seat he was always born to be in, that is our duty.
Does being in the seat give you anything extra?
Extra.
Does it kind of, I don't know, does it come with some extra snazzy attunement to the world? Does it make you, I don't know.
It gives you the world.
Right. Does it give you a way to fix things is, I guess, what I'm asking. Maybe the previous king just didn't know how to use it properly, or maybe they just didn't want to do it for some reason.
Some sort of power.
Right. Yeah.
That I do not know.
I mean, like,
When
how did Erifir get all the power? You know, surely somebody out there
I wonder.
knows something.
Not all power is magic in nature. And it is his birthright to take care of his people. And it is the make of him that defines what that looks like. And
By
he
all
would be a
accounts.
good king.
Shoot.
You would be a great king.
There's no doubt about that. Look at you.
I looked at both of them and I look down, my facial expression relaxes, and I owe to an apology. Earlier I had to make a choice. Either or. That's never meant to happen. And it won't again.
Wait, what do you mean? What? When? Why? What? Who?
I don't know, it's something I felt. I'm just so glad to have both of you back, but I feel deep down I failed somehow.
You did not. You are alive.
I'm alive. So are you two.
And as long as one of us is with you.
No. I cannot accept that.
I mean, obviously, there's not a universe where I wouldn't want to be by Jude's side, but sometimes you don't have control over that, do you? And that's just how things are. You don't have control over everything, so...
I felt like this was within my power. And I let it slip.
How is this in your power?
How is the crown in my power? How isn't it? You two said yourselves.
Okay, this is getting really weird now.
I mean, nothing about this place looks normal, does it? When are we? Are we back? Are we where we belong?
If this isn't a test,
Yeah.
and all of that was an illusion, and there's a strange woman talking to us trying to get us to go a certain place, and we are none the wiser as to what else we can do.
Did you trust her?
I
You're
didn't.
the best judge of character I know. What did you feel?
I felt like I desperately wanted to trust her. So I tried to. Because otherwise, then that means we don't know what's happening.
Say
met
we...
me-
Go on, Jude.
When you met me, I was not kind. Did you trust me?
Yes, I knew
You don't have to be coy. You can tell me if you didn't.
I did trust you. That was the problem all along, was I could see, even all the times you tried to push me away, all the times you'd tell me to leave, you hated being there with me. I could see it wasn't out of anything other than what you thought was the right thing at the time.
For the record, I never hated you being there.
I mean, I guess I kind of knew that because I wouldn't leave you alone, so I guess maybe it all worked out anyway, right?
Yes, it did. I'm glad you're
You
both
too.
back.
Me too.
I thought that you had left, and it would have made sense if it was more real to stay.
But it wasn't really, was it? Because they... You mean you saw... what I thought was my parents? It might be my parents, but it... didn't
We
make
don't.
sense, did it?
Really know what we saw. But by that same token, even if we cannot trust this woman you spoke with, it might not hurt to try and find out what Woundwood means. Doesn't necessarily mean we're walking into a trap.
Yes.
But if it is a trap, then we'll be fine.
Right.
Right, Jude?
Yes.
As you always say, Jude, with understanding comes power.
You were listening. Look at that. I
Sometimes.
knew it. Okay. Okay, so if it's not a place, then that means Woundwood is we're going towards a wound, right? Like there's... What would be a wound, though? The river.
The river.
That old riverbed, right? The one that dried up ages ago. I've forgotten what it was called, though.
I suppose you have a point. You know, locations are often named after this and that. If the ground or the land was wounded, well, that would make sense, wouldn't it?
Could
What
there
was it
be greater
called?
wounds?
Maybe.
Maybe.
I mean, the whole place is wounded. Look at it.
Isn't that right?
The whole place is wounded. Well, wounds... Do wounds originate from somewhere? Yes, right?
But that's what I think the... What is it called?
Riverbed.
Hand me your map. If I look, I can find it.
Yes, of course.
Thank you.
You're not talking about down south, are you?
Maybe? I read about it one time. You know, there was this whole river and somebody made it, and...
Right.
But it's not the same anymore.
Right.
And that would count as a wound, right? Because it wasn't there to begin with. It was put there. So, I mean, I guess if you're gonna be creative, then wound would maybe describe it.
I like
Exactly.
If we imagine this whole place is like a living creature and someone has just torn a massive, I don't know, ravine in it.
So, I think I'll keep you from, struggling too much. I believe it's called... Blackbird's Bed.
That is it! That's it! Are you telling me you were keeping this from me this whole time? You always do
I had
that.
to be sure.
Okay, learn your own lessons, Vega. Figure it out yourself. I'm not going to tell you. Okay, well, that's it. I think, well, that's what makes the most sense to me. At
I
least,
guess you also listened, huh?
unfortunately. Sometimes.
All right, how far is that?
I sort of trace a finger down the map. It's pretty far, and the journey's not particularly pleasant. There's a lot of terrain in the way. I mean, look, if we're up here, we're in the shallows, right? We gotta get through a lot of mountainous expanse.
If you look at that, it's more or less the southernmost portion of Aeldin. It's,
Yeah.
right at the edge of the territory. At a glance, I couldn't tell you how long it's gonna take. There's just too much terrain, and, I'm not quite sure what our Dalamirs are, specially attuned for. I mean, mine's a racer, not cross-country, but...
And it means we have to go past Godston Keep, which, given the current climate, might be a problem.
True.
Could we...
Very true.
Could we... perhaps... avoid Godston Keep entirely?
I mean, we could follow the... We could go all the way around to the lake and down that way, but I don't think we've ever been that way before.
The lake. I dread to imagine what's become of that thing.
Yeah, well... I'm sure it's still got its charm, right? I mean, it wasn't a nice lake to begin with, really, was it? It was kind of all green and overgrown and gross.
Ever the optimist.
It's probably improved by now, to be honest. Oh, and we get to go past Glengory. I remember reading a story about that place one time. They say that the apples they pick down there are actually purple.
Purple apples.
Not that there's any apples anymore, but... Well, it was still kind of cool.
Fair point. Alright. Well, drill instructor, what do you think?
Well, I think we're all in agreement. It's a good idea.
Right. What is your sound, tactical mind? Tell us. How should we get there? On foot? By Dalamir? Do we fly?
Can you fly? You can fly us there, perhaps. It was a joke.
Right.
I think, perhaps in these parts of the map here where we see settlements of some kind, we travel by foot. Perhaps we should stick to night? Otherwise, I don't see a reason why we cannot use the Dalamirs to gain some speed.
Sounds like a plan to me.
Great.
All right.
Okay, well, lead the way. I'll strike up camp and, or maybe you can help me because I have no idea what I'm doing, but,
That is not true. Stop downplaying yourself. Every single time. How many times have we shown you how to make a fire?
I mean, sometimes it's just easy to will, just go fire and it's
But
there.
what if you don't have the will that day? What if you just have a bundle of sticks? And so, well, anyway, I'll show you on the way. Come on.
All right.
Is there any place in the shallows where I can, are there things that are still available, like food or equipment?
Why don't you go ahead and roll for me? We'll find out. It seems to be empty, and there doesn't seem to be any equipment or food.
Okay.
Did
Well,
people
we can't
leave?
stock up.
No. But this is passing strange. Did people leave? I mean, is there signs of an exodus? I'm just surprised that in all our time in Blakeguard, we did not hear about people in the shallows leaving. Why did Vega's family not send word?
It's as I said, they don't like to worry me, but and you're right. They've lived here their whole lives. I don't know why they wouldn't just mention something.
Sorry, did we search inside? I mean, did they leave a note or something? I mean, surely they'd know you'd come back.
No, I didn't think to look.
Maybe we should.
Did you not think to look, or do you know it's not a good idea?
I think it will confirm what I don't want to be thinking about.
And what's that?
That this isn't a test, and that my parents are gone and I have no idea where they went. and they didn't tell me. I suppose we should look, right?
You're busy setting up the fire. I'll go take a look.
Thanks, Jude.
I'll come with. As I follow Jude, I feel almost a tugging sensation. I recall what I just said. And now Vega's outside and Jude's stepping inside, and I'm in the doorway, and I'm being foolish. I follow Jude inside.
I'm looking around for any signs of any notes or someone having been here.
There are no notes. No signs of struggle, no signs of things being packed. You know, if they were going to go, I think you would notice specific things that would be missing, but those things are still there.
So, all of Vega's parents, like gardening tools, her mum's jewelry, it's all there? Nothing's been taken, nothing's been moved. There's no sign of moving.
It's all here.
I
don't know what to tell her, Lear.
Well, nothing yet. I look around in the house. I know it's rather modest, but I'm looking for, I don't know, a timepiece or something? Something they might have used to pass the time, I don't know, like, or tell the passing of time. But, you know, I'm not sure exactly what I'm looking for. A calendar? Anything.
Ooh, okay. Go ahead and roll for me.
Okay. A partial success?
Partial success. Ooh, okay. Lear, we're gonna say you find like a wooden time tracker, however you want that or imagine that to look. But I think it hasn't been updated in a while. So it does look like it's from months ago.
I see.
Yeah, like an abacus. Is how I'm imagining it.
Right. Okay. So, is that, we're talking months here?
Yes. I think you would make the connection.
Right. And I silently raise my hand and point it towards it to Jude, and I keep looking. The way the house is set, families around here, you know, like, there's cycles. There's breakfast, there's lunch, dinner, you know, I look at the dining table. I mean, is food set? Is there food on the table? You know, like, does it look like...
partial success, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I will say that there is. In fact, there was probably food that is now rotten that would look like it was in the middle of being prepared on the counter.
It's almost as if they just vanished.
What did you see exactly?
Jude, look.
I meant when you went.
When I went.
With Vega.
Oh. It was like I didn't go anywhere, Jude. I blinked for a second and all of a sudden colors were a bit more vivid, you know? Greens were greener. Our parents were there. You know, dealing with the orchard, the plants in the backyard. It looked like... I'm no green thumb like Vega, but... I'm pretty sure plants grow faster than that, and there's only like a couple seasons, right? They just look like how they were last time we were here. It didn't make any sense.
And everything was completely normal.
No. No. Vega mentioned your name. And her parents didn't know who you were. And that in itself is passing strange because they love you.
It's as if the moment you were there, you existed to them. I wasn't with you. Would they have recognized me if I was there?
I wonder.
Is it a part of the illusion?
Just so. It makes me think as if maybe perhaps if this were some sort of illusion by some grand mad mage, that they would have had to know you to make Vega's parents know you. That's why I'm still keeping hope for now. Because this, I point to the timepiece again, this makes no sense to me. None at all.
Nor I.
Which leaves us to go on.
But from everything you're telling me, I don't get the sense that they're just merely dead.
No.
An entire town?
No, look around you. There's no trace, no struggle, nothing, no scuff marks. Hell, the doors were locked. The food. There's a knife in the bread as if it's being carved still.
Like a dream.
Like a dream.
Are we the dream?
If only life could be so easy. I mean, you're free to pinch me. Wake me up, because this is just too much. Jude, what do we tell Vega? Jude? What do we tell Vega? Don't play tricks with me now, Jude. Come on.
Tell me what, Leah?
Oh.
We tell her the truth. Vega.
I made a fire outside. If you want to come get warm, it's nice and cozy. Should last us at least a few hours.
That's nice.
Perfect.
Yes.
We didn't find anything. The house is as it were on a normal day. There's no evidence of fighting. There's no evidence of violence. There's no evidence that they packed up and left. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. For what it's worth, I don't think that they're dead. somehow. You just saw them, but they're not here, and they haven't
It's
been
fine.
for a while.
It's fine.
No, it's not.
It's not.
No, it's not. That's not fine. I don't know why they'd just leave without saying anything, but it doesn't make any sense, and none of this has made any sense since we woke up from that nightmare. If that was an illusion there, and what I saw here with my parents was also an illusion, I don't know, it's like... I'd almost say the illusion was weaker here, because they didn't look quite real, but then Leah touched them, and it became real.
And then I left. And then you came back.
Right.
But
And
I
how did you get back? What did you do?
I don't know.
Okay. Right, okay.
I just willed it, like as if you're in a bad dream and you want...
Everything all right?
Everything's fine. Oh, no, nothing is fine right now. Nothing is fine. I do believe that they're not dead. Much in the same way that Vega vanished. What if they did too? Just at some grander scale, we know people are capable of it.
Right, they're somewhere else. They've been put somewhere else.
Right,
And they can't get back.
right.
So... What did we see? What did we feel? Did we go back to when they were here, or were we feeling them somewhere else?
I don't even want to believe that what we saw Vega was real in the first place. How could it be they did not know Jude? How is that possible?
Maybe in that place Jude didn't exist. At least for that moment, because she wasn't there, right? So what if she... wherever they were...
But you knew Jude. If that's the case, that place isn't our place.
No. And they weren't my parents.
No.
It is all right if they are. My existence doesn't indicate...
Jude. Please.
All right, so what do we do? Do we continue on?
Woundward.
Woundward. Vega, what do you want to do? Do you want to stay? Do you want to solve this?
I walk over to the flower beds and I want to take a scoop of the earth there and sort of just feel it.
Careful now. I watch.
Just dirt, dusty, sandy dirt. And if you touch it, I assume it's the same, right?
It makes no
Okay.
sense to me.
I go and bend over and put my hands in the dirt as well. Yes.
This is real, right? This is... What is real, though?
What do you feel?
I don't know. I don't know if I can trust myself anymore.
Where is my syringe? I should be here.
Not so loud.
What?
I must concentrate.
We have work to do. Leave him be. Is it time? I'll get the base. Here we are. That should feel nicely.
Rhea!
It's alright. Alright. I'm here. It's me.
It doesn't sound like you.
Oh, it is.
Relax. What are you doing to me? We're here together. Remember? Walking. Despair.
Do you remember those days? When we would walk like that? There.
And you're sure this will help them? It will help me. It will help us.
Now,
Hold my hand. It's hard to maintain.
hold my hand. Just reach. Just a bit more.
We're at the fair.
A little more.
You and I.
That's enough.
I have what
I have what I need. We have what we need.
We have what we need.
This one will be far superior to the last.
What do you mean to the one?
Easy, my love. It'll be okay.
Someone
Sometime.
searching.
Who is it?
One from before. Blue feather.
Blue feather.
No. Not blue feather. It has his mark.
Can you shield us from his gaze?
My gaze?
From his. We can't have him meddling right now. Ruin all of our work.
My work.
We've been spotted.
We aren't here.
And we never were. Somewhere else. Where were
Where was I?
Anywhere else. Where's that syringe?
You well?
Good morning.
Good morning.
Do you sleep well?
Sorta. How about you?
I slept okay. My hand is doing considerably better with the splint, so the pain wasn't too much.
Good. I'm glad I didn't mess it up.
No, you did honestly a very good job. My thumb should heal straight. Just give it a couple months.
Did you sleep
Rufia?
better?
Yes, I slept just fine.
Well, there's nothing else we need to do here. Should start heading off again.
Yes, we want to make Dint by ideally midday.
We want to get on our telomeres. That should speed up the process, no?
I wonder, perhaps I could ride on one of your telomeres.
Yes, of course. Talari, pretty sociable. They should be fine with you riding them. I'll take Celius.
Very well.
I'll get
Hello.
on Celius.
Hello. Hello.
Hey there.
Hey there.
I awkwardly climb onto the bird, but it looks like, it doesn't look like I've never done it or anything like that, but it looks like, you know, when someone's very unpracticed at something, it's kind of probably the most awkward you've seen me be so far, since maybe when we were younger.
When was the last time you rode a Delamere?
Perhaps when we were trained.
Rufia, that was years ago.
I can fly, Razroth.
That fair point. Yeah.
Oh, you're a quick study. You'll do fine.
Perhaps I can teach the two of you.
I would not be against that, honestly.
I'd like
Can't say that I haven't tried.
It's very easy, in fact.
When
Much easier than you would expect, at least.
I'm not surprised that you would say that, Rufia. But when we have Titus back, he can teach all of us.
Yeah. And before mounting up, I'll walk up to Celius, and I'll gently kind of tug his head down a little bit, and I'll press my head against it,
You are such a good
and I'll just pet him.
Slow up now. Slow up.
And then I'll walk over to Datura and mount up.
Who's a pretty boy? Want an apple?
Actually, perhaps you two should swap birds as well.
Want an apple? Want an apple?
And, we should all swap swords.
Easy now.
Kind of raised, take off my halberd. I'm fairly okay with a sword, but I don't know how best either of you are at
Yes, this one is weighted for me here.
Want an apple?
Okay.
Want an apple?
And
I'll
you
take.
take the halberd.
Right?
Here you go.
Do you
Let's
want
pick
my
up the
blades?
pace.
Okay. And I'll hand them over.
It should help.
With,
Do
with
you-
what?
Want an apple?
There are many ways to track people.
Okay. I know. Suppose I don't think I have a. Oh, you probably handed me the sheath, so I'll attach a sheath and strap it to me.
Wait
Okay.
for him. Get a fear. I have Titus's rapier.
Hey there.
I don't know if that'll be useful to you at any point, but I have it.
Just try not to think about it. For now.
Are we swapping Delamere? Or
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
alright.
Hello. Hello. Hello.
There you go.
Hello. And swap over. I'm on top of Celius.
Who's a pretty boy?
Okay. This won't be for too long. Ray will be back on you soon.
Estrella,
Yes?
stop. Those thoughts.
Careful, pal.
I'll try it.
Right.
Very, very.
To Dint. I plan to go directly into the town. Though, we should avoid any Godstone men along the road. I want to follow it.
Alright.
Okay. Okay.
Keep your eyes peeled. Avoid magic. Try to think of things that you don't usually think of.
Okay.
Alright.
Onward then.
I'll lead the way.
Would you like me to skip time? Yes, okay. Where would you like to go? Immediately to arriving? Or slightly before?
Slightly before.
It is done. That means you have traveled. Let me take a look.
Watch your step. Watch it.
Ooh, that's a couple of days worth of travel. Let's say 2.5.
When we arrive, I'd like to cast a spell.
Okay.
A simple thing, but still
All right.
probably not that simple.
Stay put. Stay put. Stay
Um,
put.
Something that just makes us uninteresting to look at.
Ooh, uninteresting how?
I channel the varying, very boring people I've met in my life. Just the most, not even average, below average, uninteresting, unspecial people. Who have never, people that I've met and I've found they've had no spark, they've had no skill, they've had no direct bearing on not just my life or their surroundings, but like anyone. And I don't really pull anything from them, but I concentrate on that feeling that I've had several times while meeting people and found them to be extremely dull. And then I shroud us in that feeling, but it's reflected so that whoever might look at us might just find us to be, you know, a passing nobody.
And how are you doing this? What color are you using?
Blue.
Okay, go ahead and roll. Failure, but in what way? Oh, I know. And I'm not going to tell you. It works flawlessly.
Okay. I don't think they would necessarily see me doing anything. I don't think I do a lot of, there's no like crazy hand waving gestures, no twirling of staffs or anything like that. But there is a moment, I think, where I sort of slump down in the saddle as we approach Dint for a moment that it's possible they might pick up on.
Yeah.
Easy now.
It's nothing.
But I used the cape I've been using for makeshift sling. I want to, as best as I can, wrap around my shoulders, almost like a shawl to cover my face.
I have all sorts of cloaks and wraps that I pull a little tighter and pull a hood up over my head as well.
And I have a very dark purple cloak that I kind of just enshroud myself with.
You're such a good boy.
Let's be quick. I don't think I'm welcome here.
I'm gonna need some rolls. Let's see. Raz, why don't you roll for the both of you for your disguises?
Oh, conceal, I suppose, is the best.
That'll work.
Success.
Wonderful. Okay. Have you done this before?
I've maybe not so much to this extent, but I've been on the run for over 6 months now. So yes.
When's the last time you were here?
Maybe 3 months ago.
Okay. It looks pretty much the same as when you were here 3 months ago. The desiccation has been really hard on Dint. It is the Delamere breeding town. So you can imagine they've seen a lot of struggles with the loss of food, water. They've really, really suffered. Lots of businesses just closed down one day. Stocks and wares are still there.
I keep my head down and try not to look at anything other than the road ahead of me.
Apprentice, what are you looking for? If anything.
Anything out of the ordinary. The absolute last thing I would do is bring us to Dint on the back of Delamure's and go to the center of town.
Okay.
I'm curious about everything. I'm looking around for anything that stands out to me as odd or different or wrong, even.
When's the last time you were here?
Probably a very long time ago. I can't imagine I come to Dint very much.
I can't
don't
imagine
have
you
a
do
Dalamir.
either, so I imagine it looks certainly not since the desiccation, correct?
Right, I'm not just looking with my eyes, though.
All right. Now we're talking. What are you using?
I think I am, and this is an odd way to put it, quietly using, I guess, a form of divination.
Okay.
You know what? No, I'm not.
Okay.
I'm just, you know what? I'm using my own intuition.
Ooh.
And when I say my own, I mean my own me
Yeah.
here now. And only me here now.
Okay. That means you're not going to roll a color.
No.
All right. Go ahead and make a roll. Do you have anything that you think would help with this?
No, I actually don't.
Yeah, I don't think you do either.
I think I very rarely rely on my own intuition, and I very often rely on magic instead, so probably not, no.
Okay. Go ahead and roll either mind or body. One or the other. I'll let you decide.
Can I roll 2? One for physical observation, and then one for an arcane intuition.
Sure, why not?
That's observing with my eyes.
Mm-hmm.
I have intuition as a skill under Dine, but I don't know if that counts.
Yes, let's do that.
Okay.
Okay. Well, you haven't been here since the desiccation, so it looks probably extremely different since the last time you were here. I imagine the last time you were here was when you were, picking up something related to Dalamir's? Were you with Raz?
I've probably been here. No, you're right. No, yeah, probably. Probably would have been a pretty long time ago with Raz, maybe.
Okay. Well, the last time you were here, it was green, it was lush, it was beautiful, bustling. And now it's completely empty almost. It's exactly as I just described. Shops kind of closed up. Some of them still have wares inside.
Hello.
They've really, really suffered here. But you don't notice anything else out of the ordinary. At least not, I think, in what you're looking for.
Is anyone watching us? Like
No.
acutely aware of us?
No.
Doesn't that seem odd?
I don't think
Small
so
town.
to you, because didn't you say you didn't want to be observed?
Yes, but a small town or village like this and nobody sees the 3 strangers strolling in on Delamir's.
That's right. It's almost like they don't even see you at all.
Well, then that's not right. I'm aware my spell failed.
How are you?
Yes.
Arufia, how long do we need to stay here? What are we looking for? Who were we looking for?
You said you had a shawl over your head.
Yeah.
I grab it and throw it off of his the top of his head and reveal him, and then look around at the people and I shout as well. Hark! Look!
Arufia, what are you doing?
What the fuck are you doing?
What do the people do? And I point.
No one seems to notice.
No
Look
one.
at that.
Are we? Did you do something? Are we invisible?
No. Or at least, I didn't do it on the way here.
They don't see us? At all?
Well, I think
I'm
that's an
not sure if it's
advantage on our part.
Watch your step. Watch it.
That would be a hasty conclusion. If, you or I didn't do this, then who did and why? We have to be careful that there aren't hands guiding us to the wrong location,
Stay put. Now stay put. Stay put.
like Titus.
Is there a way to track whoever did this? Whenever I cast my magic, I feel some kind of tether. Can we find one for this?
Be my guest. You tell me who did this.
Okay. And I will close my eyes and reach out to find a tether wherever this masking presence originated from. I want to find it.
Ooh. All right, go ahead and roll for me. It's gonna be Dine.
Fine. Okay. And would this be deadlock?
Oh, yes. Do you have a skill in there? You do, right? It's that one,
Yes.
deadlock, right? Okay, yeah.
Keep you waiting,
What's the
pal.
percentage at for that?
23.
23. Okay. You may bump it to 24.
Okay. Partial success.
Oh. Interesting.
All right.
I need you to describe what you think the line is between you and Raz and Lear. Lear, I need you to come in and help me do this. So Raz and Lear describe together what your tether is.
Oh. Well, there'll definitely be a look of confusion on my face when I see that one end of the tether is attached to me, but my end, hot to the touch, even though it's not physical. I almost flinch, as if I've touched a hot iron.
Okay.
Easy now, boy.
But it seems to change the track where it's leading to. The texture and the temperature, all of it seems to shift.
And Lear, what does your end feel like?
I'm not sure.
And
It's
that-
happening.
Yeah. Do you think it feels hot to the touch, Lear?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, so
Jude!
Rufy, I'm tethered to someone, something. Should I pull?
Oh.
Describe the sensation.
My end, it's hot. It hurts to touch. I feel like my skin is boiling. But as I trace away the texture of it, it becomes rougher, but the temperature stays the same. I think if anything, it's getting hotter as I get close to whoever this is tethered to, and I think I hear voices. They sound like the voices I heard last
My
4 nights
hands.
ago.
What do you want to do?
I don't know.
I want to. I'm going to remember this feeling, but I'm not going to pull. I'm going to listen. I need to know what we're dealing with. We need to know what we're dealing with first. I'm just going to listen.
I don't know. I was just helping Vega set up, and my hands, it...
And then he just goes running out like a bat out of hell. I needed help, come on.
Wait, there's
Okay, so explain
someone
to me
named
again
Vega.
what happened.
I
hearing
don't
3
know.
voices.
I
think they're aware. One of them is aware of what I'm doing, or can
I
feel
thought
it
it was
somehow. I'm going to let go.
burning. But it's actually...
You've not been using magic again, have you? What did I just say? Like, a day ago.
What do you think, Estrella?
I have no idea what any of this is.
There are forces working against us, I think. And there are people who are not. There are dangers, and there are huge parts of this world that we know nothing about. I can't even trust in my own skills or instincts. So my trust falls to the two of you. For now. Your other Razaroth, his brother, or do you think we should go to them or leave them?
I think we should go to them.
And you, Estrella?
Well, there are 2 sides to this coin, right? If that is his brother, it could be very bad. But it could also be very good. What do we know of them so far? Anything at all?
Very little.
Yes, even I know
They're not
very
very
little.
skilled with magic.
We can use
But,
that to our advantage, though.
They were armed. They seemed
Stop,
trained
man.
with
Stop.
swords. Not too dissimilar than the 3 of you.
Right?
A group. They seem to work well together. The brother was quite easy to anger.
Easy.
A fury rose in him almost instantaneously when he believed me to be the one who caused the desiccation. The other two struggled against my magic for a moment. I questioned them briefly, but I suspected them to be the force that works against us, but they were not.
If this force is working against us, and they are brothers, is it possible that that force is also working against them?
I'm unsure.
I couldn't say either. I only know them by... I can't even say by name. I'll be honest with you. Just know that I have one.
Right. I am of the opinion that we stay cautiously optimistic. I have zero doubt in our abilities, and if it turns into a fight, I know we'll win. But if it doesn't turn into a fight, well, there's a lot of work we have to do.
Yeah,
We could
you
use
could
them.
use the help.
Yeah.
Hello. Hello.
Mm.
Hello.
Under the assumption that they are at Blakeguard or nearby, and that they are in fact here and now.
Want an apple? Want an apple? Want an apple?
Check that. That's true.
Hmm.
I'm going to try and find that tether again, that thread.
Okay.
Huh.
Go ahead and roll. You can have a +10 shift because you've already done it.
Ah. 38.
Partial success.
Partial.
Same thing as last time.
And last time I didn't clarify this, but last time and this time around as well, I'm using my right hand. Currently broken, but that's what I'm reaching out with.
Okay.
I want to see if I can not just hear, I want to see through whoever I'm tethered to at the moment.
It's happening again. It's...
What is happening again?
I don't know. Although it's not hot, it's cold.
What do you mean it's cold?
It's so very cold.
Okay,
Feel my
hang on. Okay, calm down. Your hand feels
you locate
completely normal. Like this.
I'm trying.
Take your glove off, for goodness sake.
I can hear them, but
Look.
can't see.
All right, no, walk us
Not
through
just
it.
yet.
Wait. What can't you
Astrea.
hear?
What?
Watch your step.
Help him.
Watch it.
Help him.
Who is there?
Leah,
Well, quickly now.
Who is
so
Calm
just
down.
Stand there.
Baker,
Okay,
someone's there.
and I'll place my hand on Razroth. And I'll channel whatever energy that I have
Yes.
into him.
Hold my hand. Who is there?
All right.
okay, I've got your hand. Okay.
Got this together.
I've got your
Razroth.
Stay
hand.
put. Now stay
Listen.
put. Stay put.
Do you hear?
Who is
What are you
this?
saying?
I asked first.
I said, who is this?
I said, who is this?
I know one of you is Vega.
How do you know my name? Who are you?
Who are the rest of you?
I believe I asked first.
I want, if I can, to pull at, not all the way, but almost threateningly pull at the tether.
Okay. I need you to roll.
Carefully now.
Would that be
Watch your
deadlock
step.
again?
Watch it.
Yep.
Careful, pal.
Partial success.
Raz,
Sorry to keep you waiting, pal.
you are. Have you been to Blakeguard or around there? Have you ever been to the Shallows?
No. No.
Okay. Then you are somewhere you do not recognize.
Where am I?
And
Rhea?
you are standing in front of two people you don't recognize either.
Who the hell are you?
Who are you?
My sword is drawn in his face.
You are
I
We
not
asked
there.
first. We asked first.
You are not there. You are
Oh,
somewhere.
we're not there?
You are
Oh.
not there. You are somewhere else.
Oh.
Leah? Who are you and what have you done with Leah? Where have you put him?
Leah. Who is Leah?
Leah, you know... Very tall, crown, strange tattoo on his head.
What is
I
your
have-
name?
You were the one we were speaking to.
You're Vega.
Who
You.
are
Easy.
You.
now, boy.
I turn to the other. What is your name?
Jude.
Jude.
And yours?
Where am I?
What have you done with Leah?
Where am I?
You're in the shallows near Blakeguard.
You're such a good boy.
I am Razrothvin Brengard.
Watch after them for me.
Hello again.
You!
I draw the halberd.
I draw my sword. Where am I?
Is
I
this
don't
him?
say a thing. I step back and cross my arms and watch the two of them.
I said, where am I, magician?
Dint. We're in Dint. You ever got a Delamere before?
Of course I have a Dalamir. It's home.
How did you get here? Where is Razroth?
Ask your friend. Who is Razroth? Is he the one?
What's your name? What is
What's
your
your
fucking
name?
name? I hold the
Mind your
halberd
tongue.
closer.
I raised my sword in defense. I would
I asked
mind
you
your
first.
tongue if I were you.
And why is that?
My name is Leah Vin Blakeguard, heir apparent to the throne. Who the fuck are you?
Straya Vin Brengard.
I cast my gaze to the mage again. Correct.
Razroth did it.
Did what?
It's sloppy, but... how long since the desiccation?
months. What did that matter?
The desiccation, not the drought. Yes?
You're speaking in circles, mage.
Yes, well. Everything is circles at the moment.
He's not speaking in circles, he's asking questions to get to the bottom of this.
I shall explain what I think. You have, swapped.
Where are they?
Who?
Where are my wards?
Where you left them.
You made me break a vow.
I did no such thing.
Then who
You
did?
have to take that up with your brother.
Brother.
Yes.
My
This is
brother's
fun.
dead. You
That may be true. I'm still working that part out. As I said, I will explain what I think I understand. Razroth successfully located you, created a tether, presumably due to some sort of twisted familial link. And,
Who is this Razroth you speak of?
for now, we will have to simply refer to him as your brother.
Again with the circles, mage. Who is he?
The previous heir apparent.
Soul up now. Soul up.
When did he die?
No, this is tricky. Lear, do you want to answer or would you like me to come in?
You may come in.
Okay, because for you, they have gone ahead 3 days, but you have not. Just to clarify.
Right.
Easy now, boy.
So for you, I believe it's only been 2 days.
Right.
And for them, it's been 6.
2 days ago. A day before you turned up.
Close enough. And your other brother?
You keep calling this person my brother. What are you talking about?
The other brother of yours.
Mage. I only have one brother.
Your sister, then.
Mage. I'm one of 2.
Have you ever met anybody called Titus?
No.
Who's a pretty boy?
Your crown there. When did you receive that?
You're such a good boy.
I'm not going to stand here and be interrogated by you.
Very well. I shall answer your questions then.
Where am I? You said Dint, but where am I?
Hello. Hello.
Where are the people?
Hello.
They are unable to see us right now. They are hidden thanks to the magic in your crown.
In my crown. Explain!
Well, I can't. You would not answer my question.
The grip of my sword tightens.
It may not seem like it, but I believe in some way we are on the same side in something that is greater than all of you.
Prove it!
I shall try. Perhaps, Estrella, if you wouldn't mind taking your weapons back.
Go on.
And
My eyes are still trained on Lear.
the door of this home here, we shall walk through it, and on the other side will be Blakeguard, Razroth, and your wards. Then perhaps we can parley, figure out what might be happening or where to go next. Whether we are all indeed together or you are from somewhere else or not. Who works against us, if anyone? We shall need to make some steps in the correct direction. And at the moment, I'm afraid I have no idea which way that is.
Watch your step. Watch it.
Tell him.
We do this thing. She goes in first. And if I don't see my wards, I'm striking you down.
Now stay put. Now stay
That's a
put.
promise.
Stay put.
Good of you.
Very well.
Do you want me to take my weapons back?
Yes.
I'll take them.
To the doorway, then.
To the doorway.
After you,
How courteous.
but of course, my lady.
You have asked us for our names. What is yours? I think it is only fair. Cannot hear
sword.
you.
My sword is under his chin.
Sorry.
I am
keep you waiting,
Razroth
pal.
in Brengard. And even with the sword underneath his chin, he turns around as if he's just looking around.
How did you get here?
I'll be entirely honest with you, I'm not entirely sure.
Bring Leah back.
All right.
Lear, Vega, and Jude.
Why are you saying it like that? Like you're compiling a list, a notation.
But because I am, I need to understand who I'm dealing with.
Are you not?
Who are we dealing with? Razroth. What was that?
I am, for some reason, linked to your friend Lear. I was trying to find out why.
He's not our friend. He's the heir apparent.
Yeah. Yes, I know.
Son Eater. What does that mean?
Easy now, boy.
Exactly what it said.
Are you You're the Razroth.
The Razroth.
Razroth, the Salt Bringer. Razroth, the Water Stealer. Razroth, the Sun Eater. Yes.
And what have you done with Lear?
You're such a good boy.
My guess is
Where
My
have
guess
you
is that
sent
he's
him?
wherever I was. So likely Dint.
Razroth,
Rhea?
get that sword out from under his chin.
Give me one good reason why I shouldn't just strike him down right now.
Because your friend is right fucking behind me.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
Oh,
Welcome.
boy.
How we doing? I was not expecting that at all.
I wasn't either.
Wow, big same.
You reached out and then you were like, I'm not gonna pull it, and I was like, oh, thank God, because I don't have an overlay ready. And then you were like, I'm gonna pull it, and I was like, well, okay, time to do it live, I guess. Very, very, very good. Very, very, very good. Oh, loved it. All right, should we do some shout outs?
Oh boy. Yeah.
Who wants to go first?
I'll start. Hi, I'm Jack or Draconics. I've been Razroth the Sun Eater. You can find me on Twitter at Draconics, that's DRAKONIQUES. That was great. I accidentally brought the gang back together, so that's gonna be interesting next week. I have no idea what to say after that. You can follow me on Twitter to find out what I'm doing at any given moment. I recently commissioned Art of Razroth.
It's
So
so
you follow me on
good.
Twitter and check that out.
So good.
It was a lot of fun. Yeah, I'm gonna throw it over to my tether buddy, Maya.
My tether buddy.
My umbilical bro.
Umbilical bro, no.
Oh no.
Umbrolical, sorry.
My name is Meyer and I played Learvin Blakeguard for you today. Today was really was something. Every day is something, honestly. Like, I was not expecting that end. The first half, like, just it soared, and like I was not expecting to be pulled back. I heard my name or Lear's name and I was like, what? My head? What? But you know, it was I'm so looking forward to next week where like we actually have like the group confrontation, or I guess powwow, whatever it's gonna be. We'll see. But you can find me. Dude. You can find me at twitch.tv. PP is freaking out.
I'm freaking out. I wasn't expecting this for like a good, couple more weeks. I'm so happy.
Oh man. At twitch.tv/Meyer. I've been doing a bunch of Star Citizen stuff. I've been pulling a whole bunch of these guys into it to kind of do like RP, like sci-fi space stuff. People are kind of learning the game now. It's been pretty cool. But we're going to be doing some stuff together at some point, but I'm not too sure when. I also have a YouTube channel where I focus on that too, and that's youtube.com/Meyer. I do like lore reads and Star Citizen like deep dives and that kind of thing as well. I also do Wild RP. It's like a cowboy role-playing thing where I play a bunch of characters. Also, I'll be at TwitchCon EU next month. I can't talk about what I'm going to be doing there, but I'm so excited to announce it maybe next week or the week after, but I'm just stupid. But yeah, you can find me on all those places and tweets at twitter.com/Meyer_test.
Nice.
And now I'm going to throw it to Nice.
Nice. That's just what we've done is we've made a situation where next week we're gonna have to come in hot. Like next week we're gonna have to be all riled up and ready to go. Like, gonna fucking kill you. So that's gonna be fun. Gonna have to remember the vibe. But yes, I will also be at TwitchCon EU. So if you're going there, then say hello because I'll be there with Maya, and then you can bug us both. But yeah, hi, I'm Leah. You can find me at twitch.tv/Leah or twitch.tv/SpriteLeah because apparently I'm bougie and now I have 2 channels. I'll be streaming on the 2nd channel later tonight with some Wild RP, being a bad boy. But yeah, as fun as always. I am such tiny brain trying to keep up with such big brain. It is. I'm like, okay, I think I know this. Let's go. It's really fun though. So thank you to everybody and thank you to PB. Faye.
No. Hi, I'm Phelan. I played Estrella Van Bitchguard today.
I prefer Boss Guard, all right?
Yeah, it was
Fucking
great.
awesome.
I think it was pretty fucking hot, but you know, that's just me.
It's not just you.
Stop it, we're live! But anyway, I played Estrella today. Wonderful episode. I didn't have to do much today. It was pretty awesome. I kind of just got to sip my coffee and watch you guys run. And if you'd like to find me, I'm on Rime of the Frost Maiden on Fridays here on Tablestory, and I'm over on my channel, Phelan. Same thing on Twitter. All that good stuff. I play lots of video games. We do lots of Wild RPers. If you want to watch roleplay stuff, I've been playing a very Sunshine and Rainbows deputy who's been learning that it is very difficult to be Sunshine and Rainbows when there is a horrific amount of criminal activity in the crossing. So that's me. I'm gonna pass it to Margs.
Ah, jeez.
Oh,
thank you. Thanks, Faye. Today was absolutely insane. I'm not muted. Oh my god. You got me so hard, buddy. I'm gonna die later. Yeah, thanks for having me. This is great. This is on to Brad. Thank you.
She's a professional animator and she's making a film on her channel, twitch.tv/Margles. Brad, you're up.
That's beautiful. Hi, I'm impressed my voice lasted this whole thing.
Me too.
I was trying to be very cautious in the way that I speak to ensure that my voice doesn't go all cracky and fucked because my voice is so sore right now. My voice is
Rufus,
sore.
I haven't heard you like this for like 15 years. Okay, when we meet you again?
That's probably how he did sound when we first met as well. Dude, we should have done a flashback to like when we were training at 4.
God, that'd have been great.
Hey, we should do some magic, Raz.
Hey, let's do it. Yeah, let's go.
It's Leviosa.
It's really fun playing like the character that should know everything but doesn't. You know? It's like everyone's like, what's going on? And I'm like, I don't really know, to be honest, but I'm trying to figure it out from a different angle from the rest of you. And it's also fun to just kind of like play a character that can do like so much technically, but get everyone else to do it, kinda. Like I was trying to get them to do everything, kinda, and like last week I was trying to have Irufir kind of prove to them that they can break the walls of what they have been taught and understand and stuff. And this week I was like, well, let's just see if they do it. And then he did, and it was cool as hell. So it's really interesting. I'm curious to see how it goes. I'm playing Elden Ring tomorrow on my channel. I'm starting that tomorrow.
Really?
That one the game vote. I'm ready for it. It's a good time for me to play it because my life is at rock bottom. And
It doesn't get much worse.
I have noticed that my life is so terrible right now that like when bad things happen, I'm like, oh, it's all good. I'm all the way at the bottom. Like it literally can't get worse. It's actually not that bad. So it's a great time to play Elden Ring.
God, we
That's
need
official
Depression.
review for the game.
It's actually not that bad. Brad Bodo, 2022.
It's perfect for a rock bottom.
This like thing that should be awful isn't that bad because I'm already at the bottom. It's all good. So yeah, my life is the Marina Trench. So yeah, I'm starting Elden Ring tomorrow. If you want to watch that. I've also been doing some random Wild RP things as well. I've been creating some crime for Faye's character to become very depressed over. And
It's actually not that bad, don't worry.
Yeah, but I haven't really been streaming too much of it. Maybe I will next week. Bye.
That me? Am I the last one?
Wait.
End scene.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh,
It's
okay.
definitely PB.
Yep, it's me. Okay, well, and thank you. Hi, I'm Pumpkinberry, and I'm terrible at these shout-outs, so I'm just going to tell you to join our Discord, tablestory.tv/Discord, because there's theory crafting, there's fan art. The art of Raz is going to be in there as well, if it isn't already. And rate and review us on Apple, if you please. And we'll see you next week. Bye! Bye!
Bye.
I made an oath. Never again.
Hello, brother.